Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga Racecourse as we wrap up week number 6 here at the Spa. Sunny skies once again with the temperature in the high 80s. The main track is fast, the turf courses are firm. Portable rail is up at 27 feet on the melon turf and no portable rail on the inner. Right now we'll take a look at today's changes, and please note that both Joel Rosario and Jose Gomez will not be riding here today. In the first race, number 6, Treasure Gem, the jockey is Trevor McCarthy. Trevor McCarthy on the 6, Treasure Gem. Scratch 9, Welcome to My World, and 10, Misintention. Scratch 9 and 10 from the first. Second race, number 6, Yarrow, will be ridden by Manny Franco. Manny Franco is on the 6, Yarrow. Scratch the also eligibles, 8, Excellent Timing, 9, Quick Flash, and 10, Unique Unions. Scratch 8, 9, and 10. In the third race, number 5, Nurse Ratchet, make the jockey Javier Castellano. Javier Castellano is on the 5, and the weight is now 122. In the fourth race, number 5, Maddie's Marauder. The rider is Jose Ortiz. Jose Ortiz on the 5, and the weight there is 122. In race 5, and we'll do the scratches first. Scratch 1A, Pioneer Spirit, 4, Crafty Daddy, and then scratch 11, Regal Speaker through the 14, Royal Tryst. So in race 5, scratch numbers 1A, 4, 11, 12, 13, and 14. A rider change on the 5, Healing, to Julien Leparoux. Julien Leparoux on the 5, Healing, in race 5. In the sixth race, jockey change on the 2, Grand Love, to Ricardo Santana Jr. Ricardo Santana Jr. rides the 2, Grand Love. And scratch number 3, Gormley-esque. Scratch the 3 from race 6. In the seventh race, scratch number 4, Tide of the Sea. Scratch the 4. There's a jockey change on the 7, Reigning Spirit, to Johnny Velasquez. Johnny Velasquez on the 7, Reigning Spirit. Eighth race, couple of jockey changes. Number 6, To a T. The rider is Javier Castellano. Javier Castellano is on the 6. Number 8, Baba. The jockey is now Trevor McCarthy. Trevor McCarthy on the 8, and the weight is 124. Featured ninth race is the Bolton Landing Stakes. Scratch number 5, Grand Oak. Scratch the 5. A rider change on number 4, Kerry, to Julien Leparoux. Julien Leparoux on the 4, Kerry, in race number 9. And in today's 10th race, rider change to be announced on number 2, Bayou Wind. Rider change to be announced on the 2. Jockey change on the 3, Belshaza, to Manny Franco. Manny Franco rides number 3, Belshaza. And number 5, Empress Theodora, will run with 1 bar shoe on. 1 bar shoe on, number 5, Empress Theodora. Main track fast, turf courses firm. We'll come back at 12:30 to reprise the changes. First race post today is at 1:05. Up next, the Sunday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses, day 29 here at Saratoga as we wrap up week 6. He is Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Everything's good. We are brought to you, by the way, by Saratoga Spring Water. Happy to have them. Happy to have a Saratoga Spring Water right now. Love the blue bottles.
I just realized we actually have, you have your sparkling in front of you. No, well, you have your sparkling in front of you, and I have my
but I'm
flat
drinking
in front
flat
of me.
today. The flat.
Oh, is that flat? Oh, okay.
It's early.
All right.
I see them in restaurants in the city all the time. I love seeing the blue bottles. Every time I see the blue bottles, I feel like I'm home.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything good?
Yeah, a lot of places downstate are starting to carry them. You're right. Yeah, everything's good. Ready to roll.
Nest ran well. Not a particularly fast. I'm sorry. It was a solid race. She got a 99 buyer. The track's got much faster, so it's no surprise the 2:03 time. I think that because of her last race, we were holding her kind of to a different standard. And I think if you and I are talking about it, I think you were more optimistic she would run that kind of number. I'm not surprised she took a step back, but she's still she's just in a different league right now.
Head and shoulders above them.
The 3-year-old filly competition, it's not existent for her at this point. I don't know if there's somebody lurking somewhere. I don't know who the heck it is.
And the fact that she has found some speed, and she's a little tactical now.
Oh,
a little
yeah.
more so. She's really just turned the corner, and Tom Amos was saying this to me yesterday morning. He said, he felt like going into the Oaks, and he had a chance to watch her train down there. She's just a different filly. He said it's almost like watching two different fillies.
Yeah, well, that's the signature of great trainers and the signature of Todd Pletcher with good horses. They improve. And it's interesting watching her and thinking, where she's come, where she was a nice horse last year. But you could never have predicted last year that she was going to be anything close to this talent. Even her win in the Demoiselle, which she ran very well. She was wide that day. But you couldn't have said she's going to be a horse that's just going to be destroying the competition by the summer, second in the Belmont Stakes. I don't think it's shocking anybody that she ends up being one of the leaders, especially coming from Todd Pletcher's barn. Huge win for Mike Rapoli and Eclipse Stables as well. And, she's just...
But did you see 3 grade 1s in her future? Probably not, right? Probably
to see her be the dominant member. Even when she ran the Oaks, Secret Oath ran a better race than she did. You couldn't have predicted that, within 4 months she was going to be the dominant member of the division. It's not a shock, but it's impressive. And, I think for these people that are saying she should have run next week, well, they're wrong. She shouldn't have run. She ran exactly the race she belonged in, and she probably wouldn't have won next week. And why shouldn't she run in the Alabama, one of the oldest, most important races in the country? And this notion that every time a filly does something special, people have to say right away, she should be facing the boys. It's like, well, no, she should be running in the races and work it out.
Especially races like the Alabama.
Yeah, and I think that Todd and Mike and Aaron Wellman and Mike Rapoli will Todd just he stands alone. Though Mike kind of does too. But I think they'll figure it out, and if and when they want to take a shot against the boys, I don't think it'll be some haphazard decision. But I also think that while she has 2 months to improve, and she has a very fast race in her in the CC Oaks, to suggest that she's a fait accompli, overwhelming favorite of the Breeders' Cup Distaff, given especially the crop this year of older horses, that's getting a little ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she won't win it. I'm not saying she's not one of the favorites.
It's very curious. I'm curious to see how they handle her now. I don't know if the cotillion...
My guess is we don't see her again
until the Breeders' Cup.
I wonder if Todd mentioned the cotillion for Goddess of Fire.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to run her
Knowing
in a race
Todd,
like the cotillion.
she may wait, but she could. Who knows how she's doing?
You know how fit.
Mike likes to run.
He does, but you could probably put her on a farm for 30 days, and she'll come off the farm fitter than 90%.
Send her the farm.
Well,
eek.
I don't know. She's had a pretty good campaign. I would imagine.
She's got to be pointing the Breeders' Cup. And look forward to her being there. She was terrific. And it's nice to see, that the good horses show up in the big races. I took a shot to beat her. I knew it wasn't exactly the cleverest pick I made, but you take shots sometimes.
No, she's a nice filly.
Very good.
She's a really nice filly.
She's a very, very, very good filly, and certainly a very deserving winner.
Back to back for Curlin's, Malathat, and...
Oh, yeah? Well, she's locked up the 3-year-old honors.
And I think that's the main reason you run her yesterday. The main reason you run her yesterday, you don't wait for the run Happy Travers.
Alabama.
Yeah, I know that, but
Alabama.
When you're dealing with the social media world,
the social media world is clueless.
The reason you run her is because yesterday wrapped up your 3-year-old filly honors. Unless Secret Oath beats her twice and wins the distaff, you would imagine this thing's over
decisions
with.
Ever made based on social media would be tragically.
I'm not saying made on him. I'm just.
Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets.
That's a decision you should absolutely make.
Yes. They may not agree with you on Twitter, but who knows? Use the promo code TOGA200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. We have the bankroll builder, the last bankroll builder before the Travers in the interesting Bolton Landing, which we're talking about. Bolton Landing, Anthony is in.
Bolton Landing is right west of Lake George.
There you have it. You're really up on your geography.
Sagamore. Go through Bolton Landing to get to Sagamore Island.
What else do we have?
I spent 12 glorious days there in '89 when Easy Goer won the Travers.
Low roller contest every Thursday and Sunday.
Ray and Jay.
Chances only going to be 4 more of these or something, so you don't want to miss your opportunity to spend quality time with Ray and Jay, 2 fine, upstanding gentlemen. It's outside the Miller Time 4-Star Day Sports Bar. $40 buy-in, $30 bankroll, $10 prize. It is a very fun contest. Highly recommended. A lot of fun. And if you get to spend any time with Jay, I mean, it's just one of the great people.
What about Ray?
Ray's okay, but Jay...
Why do you keep putting a poo-poo on Ray, man?
I'm not. He's just, I do. Great affection for Ray.
This is your favorite.
My head's spinning just looking at it. I got a little dizzy just looking at it. 1 to 3, 3 to 5:30, 5:30 to 6. We're also showing the Queen's Plate. Anthony will be singing "O Canada" on the show. I'm not going to tell you when it takes place, so you're going to have to watch the whole 5.5 hours to catch a stirring rendition of "O Canada." Actually, LeDuc and I are going to sing it. Instead of the post parade, we're going to sing it. He knew a line from it. He was like quoting him to me in the text.
You realize you just admitted texting "Oh Canada" with Paul LeDuc.
Well, I thought it was important that we discussed whether or not we'd be singing it together or he'd be singing it solo. I think we increase viewership if we. Well, not if I sing. If I sing, people's TVs would be blowing up.
I think viewership would go through the roof if we guaranteed you a rendition of "Oh Canada."
There won't be any singing coming from me. By the way, the woman Shannon, Savannah.
Yes, she was fantastic.
Gordon. Savannah Gordon.
Yes,
she was awesome. Singing the anthem yesterday. Yes. If you didn't hear that, she was tremendous.
When you go to your Dead show, when you used to go to your Dead shows, did you sing along?
No.
You're not a sing along guy at concerts,
I don't like noise.
Right?
No, I don't like people.
You don't like noise.
I used to go up front.
What does that even mean?
I used to go up front to most shows. Like I would always stand by the right side of the soundboard at Madison Square Garden because the sound was great there and it was loud enough that I couldn't hear nitwits talking. I go to concerts to hear the music. A lot of people go there to drink and do whatever, but I like the music. I like the music. That's why I went to the Dead shows.
So do I,
yeah, no, I'm not saying you don't, but I mean, that was my sole purpose of going was to hear the music. I didn't mind the parking lot scenes.
You're a dancer? Dance?
I danced in my day, but not,
Dance along?
I mean, when I was young. Now I'm old. I'm an old fuddy-duddy.
You're not old.
Race number 1.
You're older.
So race number 1 has some members of the field of the race where we declared no contest, and rightfully so, including the 3rd place finisher, Corning Stone. But I think it's also worth mentioning, Treasure Gem, the Christophe Clement, we can show that race for Corning Stone.
Wonder if this is a
I'll wait.
Anchorman reference, Corning Stone.
We'll get to that. Treasure Gem took some money in that race, was rumored to be a good one for the Clement stable. I'm going to give that another chance. Joel Rosario not riding today. Who's riding this horse? Did you ride?
I did not get this one.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. I was negligent. So I'm going to give that one a little more of a chance. Holy Gata, the other Chad Brown in this race was Ola Gata. I think any number of these horses could be a little interesting in this race. And don't have a really strong opinion. The horse that finished first ran a solid 3rd the other day.
Behind the...
Todd Pletcher, first time, that ran very well.
Yeah.
But we have landed on the same horse. You may talk about Haystack.
Haystack. It's got to be a Haystack Calhoun reference, right, from Peter Brandt? Former WWE star, Haystack Calhoun.
Well, given... what's the name of the horse that he... Kowalski?
Kowalski.
So you're saying that this is a...
Haystack Calhoun, yes.
So Peter, we're deciding that Peter's a big wrestling fan?
Yeah, him and I have had a couple of conversations.
Man,
he really is.
He is.
He covers all the bases. You say covers all the bases, he covers all the bases. There's a full to...
Trevor McCarthy is riding Treasure Gem.
Okay. This is a full to stakes winner, Fort Washington, who's a dirt horse.
Horse that Shug McGay trains that recently has a win at Monmouth over Portfolio Company.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, I picked this one too. It's a guess on the pedigree, the same as you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a lot to go on. I've got positive message there, though. I did talking to David Aragona. Positive Message was a very inexpensive Kingman. I think 59,000.
Yeah, very, very cheaply purchased.
So that's probably not a great sign. But Mike Ryan still owns this horse. But Mike Ryan still owned that horse. That one of the more impressive. Be my guess. Was that it? Be my guess. That was one of the more. Horacio De Paz.
Yes.
Horacio's been quiet. He hasn't run a lot of horse in the last couple of weeks, a week or so.
I actually saw him out on Broadway in the daylight the other day.
You can check out Suave Fair.
I didn't go to Suave Fair.
You got, by the way, all kidding aside, Suave Fair is a great store.
I'm going to take a look.
If you ever need art supplies of any kind, and cardboards and different pens, but all sorts of stuff.
I'll keep that in mind. Keith, the craft fair breaks out in my apartment. Thank you.
You should stop in.
I will. I'm going to.
They're super nice people there. I believe I'm not sure, but it could be the longest standing store on Broadway. Is the company store still there? They've been around a long time. Anyway, look at this. Look at this. Visitors from downstate.
Wow.
We don't get enough visitors from downstate.
Just who I thought I was going to see today.
We'll talk later.
Anyway.
Anything else?
No.
We're done. We're done. See you later. Have a great day.
Have a great day, San Diego.
Race number 2. Well, in my opinion, one of two things will happen in this race. Either Deep Cover will wire the field, or Phantom Smoke will win. Now, I want to talk about Phantom Smoke's last. There's a slight chance that Bustin' Shout remembers that he used to be better than these horses and he wins the race, so I wouldn't totally discount him. I think if Irad had it to do over again, I don't think Irad gave him a bad ride, but I think ultimately with a horse like this.
We're talking about Phantom Smoke
Yeah,
now.
It was on the rail. You probably didn't want to get pinned down there. Now, also in defense of Irad, he wasn't hoping to get pinned down there. He was hoping to save ground and angle out. He just never could because Battle Station just kept running and kept him in, but also beat him. And, both of Phantom Smoke and Deep Cover come out, Phantom Smoke last time was coming out, and today, Deep Cover, of the fastest paced turf race we might ever have run in New York. Those were legitimate paces, and that pace completely and totally incinerated. So it's no shame that Deep Cover ran that 88 Beyer two races back when he was loose, but also Phantom Smoke ran remarkably well, just being close and breaking the race open top of the stretch. To me, these are superior horses to the field unless Bustin' Shout is able to recall his once good form. You've taken a horse that's got to improve markedly to be even remotely competitive here.
I don't know. See, I feel like he's improved since he came back from the break.
With these horses.
I think he can continue to improve. What about Ladies Golden Guy putting some pressure on Deep Cover? I think there'll be a little company for Deep Cover.
I'm not saying the 4 couldn't have speed, though it's first time on the turf. A dirt horse probably not going to have sprint speed, and Phantom Smoke will be sitting close. Deep Cover's not going to have to run 20 and 4/5 here. The problem with Yarrow is that Yarrow beat a significantly weaker field with one of the best trips you could possibly get as a racehorse. Neuro, who came back to win, should have won that race, got eliminated at the break, and he ran about 2 Beyer points better, justifying his performance. He was very fortunate to beat a horse that went 1 for 19 in that race, in a race that's so much slower than the races that Phantom Smoke and Deep Cover are able to run, that it'll take some sort of incident involving the 2 and 7 and some sort of absolute fluke situation, or Yarrow learns to fly for him to beat them. Okay. I honestly don't believe he's even remotely competitive. Now, if he was 30-1 in here, but he's 3-1 in the line, and he's not competitive with those horses, in my opinion. You obviously disagree.
I do.
What makes him competitive?
I think he's improved since the break in all 3 of his starts. He had decent enough races last year where if he can get rolling, I thought he did.
Does he have that's competitive with these horses? He doesn't have a race in his card that's competitive with. Okay. We disagree.
Yeah.
Manny Franco will be riding Yarrow. See what happens in race number 2. Race number 3. Race number 3 is a tricky race because either 40 Smooth, and we'll take a look at 40 Smooth's last race down at Gulfstream Park on synthetic.
Truth comes out today, huh, with your top pick.
What's that?
So the truth comes out today with your top pick.
My top pick's probably going to win, but 40 Smooth is probably the speed in this race, assuming he handles the dirt. It's probably still the speed in this race, but this is not a family that is even remotely close to a dirt family. It's a significant first family in the turf. Now, I know it's upstart. I get that. But given this horse's success in the synthetics and given the fact that his connections, even going to Florida, kept bringing synthetic. But I realized the horse is at Woodbine.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, they can work on a dirt track at Woodbine, on a dirt train track.
Right.
Do you know the second dam this horse is?
I do not.
She has a very famous brother. She has
so
a brother.
I'm going to assume.
She has a brother who has a stakes race named for him at Saratoga.
Is it a Diane Suzanne?
It's good guess though. Irish actress.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the First Star Dave family.
Yeah.
This is not a dirt family. And
I saw the.
I get it. This horse, but the problem with this horse, Anthony, is, and I get it. I picked up her second, but this is the kind of horse that you feel like you may just fall into a trap. She could be 8-5 in here. And do you really want to take a horse first time in the dirt at 8-5? I got her second.
I wouldn't want her at that short price.
Well, don't you think? Isn't
I
she
don't know
kind
how
of
they're
going
gonna,
to be?
I don't know
Excuse
how
me,
they're going to bet this race.
Put my clothes on here.
I don't know how they're going to bet this
it's
race.
Like not clipping that is like walking out of the house with your fly-in zip.
Part of the reason I took her is she's the fresh face against a bunch of horses that I simply, I've kind of had enough of.
I understand, but that's the problem. And
I know.
In my opinion, you're kind of supposed to handicap this race without 40 Smooth in here. Now, we'll look at My Girl Lexi last time out, finishing second to the loose in the lead Domineer for is it Frank D'Angelo? What's
Jose D'Angelo.
Jose D'Angelo. I was talking to him actually a few weeks ago. I just think she's the best horse in the race, and other than 40 Smooth, the 40 Smooth one, doesn't handle the dirt. I'm curious as to how you don't have her in your top four, and I think Jackie could very well get her second win at Saratoga.
I'm always
she runs her last race. Why wouldn't she be the horse kind of to beat if she runs either of her last two races? And why do we not think she's capable of running them? You're a distance guy. 7 should be better than 6 if you believe that.
What kind of setup do you think she's going to get today?
She'll be sitting behind 40 Smooth, which is a pretty good place.
You think she's going to be that close?
She'll be sitting in the second tier. She's not going to be.
You think she's going to be that close? Then yes, I probably should have moved her up.
Pace figures, she's supposed to be.
I don't
know what horse you think is faster than her. This is a pretty slow bunch.
I thought Viridia last time out probably moved a little too soon.
But she got drowned by this filly.
Yeah,
You've got Viridia second, and you don't have her anywhere. I mean, okay, I have no problem with liking Viridia over her, but I'm not sure why you would think she's like, My Girl Lex can't win.
I thought she took advantage of Viridia. I don't know what happened last time. I guess Domineer was just bad. I'm not a fan of her.
I guess Pepina could be sitting second, but I don't know.
She used to have plenty of speed, but it's gone.
But she's so slow.
Yeah, she used to be
Red
forward,
Pepper
but it's
Girl's
gone.
another one, but Rudy's going to win races. I think even you're at a point where you're 7-5 in the first race was insane yesterday.
That was crazy price.
Not even on a horse that was that good. And once she didn't get the lead, she ran fine. By the way, I think Javier is riding Nurse Ratchet. I'm sure you know where Nurse Ratchet comes from, right?
I forget.
You really don't know?
I forget. You're going to say it, and I'm going to feel like an idiot.
Yeah. This is a movie I guarantee you've seen probably multiple times. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, of course. I know. It was just.
It's such a great movie. I know I never read the book. Ken Kesey only wrote 2 books. He wrote Sometimes a Great Notion and Cuckoo's Nest. I read Sometimes a Great Notion, which is a brilliant book. It's hard because it switches from one person's perspective to another, sort of willy-nilly, and it's hard. It takes a little while to get to it. It's not a great movie, but it's a great, great book. I never read Cuckoo's Nest. The movie's heartbreaking. It's a great, funny movie, but it's also heartbreaking. And Louise Fletcher, I mean, she's like the worst person ever, right? She's like the way she just ruins McMurphy's life, right? You're not a big fan of the movie?
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
You should watch it again. I watched it again recently.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You need to watch it more. And then you'll remember Nurse Ratchet.
I'll put that on my list.
Yeah. Cuckoo's Nest? Everybody's seen Cuckoo's Nest, right? Nicholson's first Oscar. Those are movies he made back then. 5 Easy Pieces, Chinatown, Cuckoo's Nest.
Imagine all the movies they made in such a short amount of time and how actors now.
King of Marvin
Gardens.
Gardens.
What do they do? A movie every 2 years, maybe?
You know what's interesting? You ever look up Pacino's career? He didn't make that many movies. If you look up on IMDb Pacino, you'll be amazed at how less movies.
Well, he was kind of the first one.
He
was kind of the first one who did that.
Race number 4. Race number 4 is quite an assemblage.
The third and the fourth were kind of.
They don't have the paint in race 4. Can you believe these guys? We're not going to get to see a replay from Mountaineer.
I don't blame them.
I think we should just leave. We're just talking about movies the rest of the show.
You want to do that? I'm going to start calling us the new Siskel and Ebert, Andy.
No, I don't know which one. Which one was? One of them was the Dead shows in at the World. The last shows of Brent Midland before he passed away a week later. Because there's a YouTube video of one of the shows. I was there. It's outside of Chicago. It's the last time I went to Arlington, actually, 1990. And I won't be going there again, unfortunately. They show the video from the show shows Siskel in the crowd. It's Siskel, yeah, in the crowd for it. It's funny, and a tie-dye, by the way.
Oh yeah, and it went in Rome.
Jose Ortiz is on Matty's Marauder. Okay, you copped out here with Icon, chicken.
I did.
Yeah, you're probably right. I can't cop out with this horse.
I just kept looking and looking and looking. I was just like, I'm not going to take any. I'm not going to try to be brave in here.
Has Tino been here? Have you seen Tino? I haven't seen him.
Yeah. I saw him. I saw him at the sales.
Afar. Wow.
Saw him at the sales. Yeah, this horse ran well enough last time. Repeated that performance puts the horse right on the wire.
I guess. I don't know. I guess. He's probably the horse to beat, but he feels like a horse, much like almost Bruce Levine, at least he has dirt form, that's going to be favored just because. You know what I mean?
If this horse is going to be favored just because. I don't disagree with that.
And by the way, he's not going to be 5-2. These
sure
kind of horses and these, I'm not sure of anything, and these kind of horses just end up sucking in and ending up 7-5. Don't you think?
Because there's no other place to really
go.
People
just can't find a place to go. I couldn't find any place to go. I went off the wall. I mean, I was ridiculous here. Do we think that it's possible that Arthurian, who didn't run badly last time, involved in the pace, could win? I thought he wasn't impossible.
I put him second. But I went 1-2. I went favorites 1-2-3 here. But it was that kind of race where it was like, and I understand you want to take a little swing. I'm never gonna knock any kind of swing in a race like this.
I have a question for you about this race. Which sire in this race is currently a pony in somebody's barn?
Oh, my boy.
Yeah, Zevo. That's right. You love Zevo. Zevo's the sire of Scotto.
Yeah.
Shri
DeVoe has him,
yeah.
Love that horse.
I know. He made a big score with him.
He was one of my favorite. That was a fun New York rip.
Owned by the legendary Tom Coleman.
Yep.
Yes, he was a very
2014
cool
Suburban.
Well, like 7 straight races or something insane.
He won 9 in a row. He won the commentator, and I was waiting for him to run him against Open Company. He ran him in the Suburban. He crushed
the field.
He was 19.
He beat Moreno. Right?
He
Moreno
beat
was favored there, wasn't he?
And he beat.
Did Moreno win the Whitney in his next start, or was that the year before he won the Whitney? Tough one.
I don't remember.
All right, we got to stop this nonsense. El Segundo. Okay.
El Segundo.
I'm going to give you my handicapping insights on El Segundo.
El Segundo, Andy.
Segundo. We have a trainer stat on El Segundo. I'm looking for a stranger, and I'm looking for a better picture of Norm. Norm, I spoke to Gabby Gadet the other day. A lovely conversation with her.
Norm looks a little like Matt Damon in Eurotrip. If for those of
Matt
you who Scotty doesn't know,
most people associate Matt Damon with Eurotrip. How about this for Esoterica? Turf to dirt, route to sprint, 5 for 12, 363 ROI. I found my reason to take a shot.
Is it a class drop down as well?
The horse may be hopelessly slow.
It is a class drop down.
It is a drop down. He may be hopelessly slow, but I don't know. I wanted some new face in here.
There was a guy on the second floor at Aqueduct when we were growing up over there named Art. And Art used to preach, turf to dirt, long to short, class drop down. If Art was still alive, he'd bet so much money on El Segundo today.
Well, unfortunately, he's not here, so we'll get a better price. Race number 5. I'm going to fully admit that along with my partner here, we copped out. We took Devamani. And we'll show you Devamani going back to June of 2021. I always love when they open up the earpiece, right? Mm-hmm. This is June of 2021 at Monmouth, winning the Monmouth. This feels like an 8-year-old gelding that Mike Dubb is trying to win a race with as he's in a close contest with Carvet Stables for the leading owner, and Trad Brown trying to win a race dropping down. And at the end of the day, what are you going to do? He's 8 years.
He's the best horse in the race.
I just thought he'd probably win.
Yeah, he's the best horse in the race, and it all makes him right. He's an 8-year-old, like you said. You just painted the perfect picture for him. He's got a,
Julian Leparoux on healing, by the way.
Okay. He's got a little bit of a break that he has to overcome.
Steve's participating in the show by giving the jockeys.
Thank you, Steve. But yeah,
I mean, he didn't run that badly.
He beats these horses on memory, doesn't he?
Well, also, to be fair, he comes out of a race where even though the pace was quick, the pace totally held together. So he actually didn't run as badly as it looked.
He didn't do that much, right?
Yeah. 2 lengths in turf racing is an eternity.
Right, I understand that, but
he's just supposed to beat these horses. I don't trust him. I don't love him. I actually thought about Monarch's Glen maybe is my top choice here. He's sort of a similar type. I think a little more distance for him might be suitable. I know that's the thing I usually tease you about, but maybe a little more distance. He's a bit of a plotter.
I didn't address it when you said it a few races earlier because I wanted to bring it up now.
I mean,
under ordinary circumstances, I would have taken a little swing against Devamani with Grand Journey, but I need the barn to win some races.
I don't disagree.
I need the barn to win some races.
I don't disagree.
Ran well last time on the front end. Got beat by High Tide. You felt like it was a little bit of a ringer in there. I mean, there's not a ton of pace in here. I thought Tiberius Precurious was going to go last time. They weren't really aggressive with him. I would imagine Grand Journey finds himself on the lead today. Maybe that's enough.
I think Luis is going to be a little more aggressive for Tiberius Mercurius. Maybe not.
I don't know. I thought it was going to be last time when they went 48-2.
But he couldn't beat him, so why not be a little more aggressive? Try to beat him. But I'm not. Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't. It's a bit of a cop because I just couldn't make a strong enough case for somebody else.
No, we took the 2 class horses, him and Monarch's Glen.
Right.
What are you going to do? I split him. I put a little Grand Journey in there just because I'm worried about him getting loose. But if Rudy was going good right now, I would have taken a swing with Grand Journey. But
well, let's put it another way. If Rudy wasn't going bad right now, it was just normal.
Probably a better way to put it.
Normal Rudy thing.
Yep, normal Rudy.
Rudy will win again. By the way,
Right.
he might feel like he's never going to win again.
Right.
Like we all feel at the racetrack when we can't seem to win. You wonder how you ever won and whether you'll ever win again.
Stop seeing the ball.
You can hit the late pick 5 after a quick break. And Moreno did win the Whitney that year.
150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
We're back. Andy.
You think they missed us?
Andy. I missed us. What? What are you looking at?
Oh, I like that tie.
Thank you. You got a lot going on
Belmont
there.
Green.
Great Pumpkin over here to my left.
There we go.
That was my favorite. No, that was my favorite Charlie Brown. Great Pumpkin.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Well, you're a sucker for all things Christmas. We know.
I am.
I'm
Christmas.
not.
I know.
I
invite Andy over to my house for Christmas dinner every year.
I'm watching the NBA.
I never get a yes.
I
invite you for Thanksgiving, too.
You do. I may come up here for Thanksgiving this year.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Come make a little Saratoga.
I'm going to get up here Christmas time
So
this
some
year,
interesting
too.
things about race number 6.
Yeah? What's that, Andy?
Well, Spelterini, who you have on top.
I do.
This, I think, will be an interesting race for that figure because a horse that ran out of that race came back and probably improved and ran 12 Beyer points worse. And Chocolate Gelato came back and ran, 20 Beyer points better, but it felt like that was a very different Chocolate Gelato because there is some debate about whether or not this Beyer figure is accurate. And it's a fair debate because this was the second race in opening day. It had poured before the first race. We ran a 1 1/8 race.
Right.
The track was drying a bit, and then we ran like 2 or 3 dirt races right after, turf races. And so it's fair to question this fig, and I imagine that Beyer's questioning this fig as well, more than some, because it's just a weird thing. It just seemed kind of high. Now, to be fair, Chocolate Gelato ran great. So I'm not saying it hasn't been proven. It certainly hasn't been proven inaccurate. The one other horse, the Bruce Brown horse, that I actually think ran better the next time, ran 12 Beyer points worse. So I'm very curious, because if the figure's accurate, this is the horse to beat. But if the figure's 10 points high, she is a contender, but she's not the horse to beat. Is that fair?
Fair enough.
Now, we don't know other firsters, but this could be another race where first supposed to be good and they all stink.
Right.
Not yesterday,
Yesterday
by
was
the
not
way.
the case, by the way.
That horse.
Yesterday.
Echo again?
Yes.
Echo again's a great name, by the way, because it's not just the Echo Zulu reference, but also
Echo,
again, yeah, that's a
Echo.
great name. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, it's a cool name.
Isn't it redundant?
Yeah, I was tweeting that I was really happy to see that Ricardo Santana picked up the mount on that horse, and then I saw that Ricardo has me blocked on Twitter.
That's great.
I like Ricardo. I'm supportive of Ricardo. I criticized him once 2 years ago. Praised him 300 times.
You have some nerve, Andy.
I know. You might want to be a little less sensitive. You might want to block guys that are on TV either. This dam, you know who this horse is a half to?
We're talking about Grand Love?
Grand Love.
Yeah.
We'll get to Grand Love, sorry.
Oh, who
I
are
segued
we
fast.
talking about right now?
Grand Love, because I was
They have to
making fun of-
Malibu Prayer and Valid.
What race did Malibu Prayer finish third in? She was a great stakes winner.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
She was third of three
In,
against Rachel
the
Alexander,
Mother
Mother
Goose.
Goose.
Yeah.
Where Flashing, who finished second, beaten 500 lengths, won 2 Grade 1. She won the test in her next start, and she won the last Grade 1 that Richie ever won when the Gazelle was still a Grade 1.
Yep.
Both raced with Richie. And Malibu Prayer, I think she won like one of those, like Chaluki, those type races at Churchill.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a very good horse. And Valid, half to Valid, who ran like $1 million. I feel as though, and frequently they've been with Chad Brown in recent years, I feel as though the Three Chimneys fillies, they don't have that many that they run. They all seem to be runners. Is that?
Guarana was Three Chimneys.
Yeah, it just seems like we've seen a number of them. They just come out and they're runners. I picked this horse, and then David Aragona told me he thought the horse was working pretty well. I saw he picked the horse, but I was guessing on this horse to start. And it's
Okay. Who's
David's
riding
work.
him?
Ricardo Santana.
It is
That was
Ricardo.
the genesis of that conversation. What do we do with Rarify? I mean,
They have to run happy.
by the way, as we look at Rarify, I mentioned that Prank, she loses to a very nice Eclipse horse named Kaling. Sorry to hear that Prank, Dave Grenig reported, I believe yesterday, that Prank is probably out for the year.
Oh, no,
yeah,
really?
that's such a shame. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, that was a really exciting horse. But I'll tell you what, Kaling's not Prank, but I think Kaling is pretty good as well. And, it's not, you don't want to lose any
That
horses.
stinks.
Yeah, it's awful when, any of them get hurt, but especially the good ones. But hopefully she'll be okay and she'll come back next year. What do you do here? This horse was hugely touted, showed real speed, and she just kind of fizzled out. Now she's got to go 6.5. These are the kind you usually bet against, but I see you have her second.
I have her second. I mean, yeah. I thought she ran well enough going to 6, and the fact that she's going from 6 to 6.5 and not 5 or 5.5 to 6.5, I think will help her cause. Again, I went with the runners in here. I didn't love any of the firsters, so I went with the runners.
My racehorse has Rosie's Alibi for Todd Pletcher in here, and $625,000. This horse is a big turf pedigree. It's really much, much more turf, though it's a Justified, but he's a Scat Daddy. Is it a good sign that Todd's trying dirt?
I think
it's going to be overbet
this horse is-
by racehorse.
Yeah. Well, look,
They
the
bet
horse
their
is
money.
gonna-
It's great.
Horse is going to be overbet because of my racehorse. That's fine.
over the
I heard
favorite.
this horse could run a little bit.
Okay.
Last 2 gate drills, a couple of 48s out of the gate, right here over the course.
I think peak
Yeah, I don't-
popularity is supposed to be okay.
I'm sorry.
I think peak popularity
Okay.
is supposed to be okay, but I put the 2 on top.
Okay, that's
All
good
right,
to know.
We'll see what happens. Looks like it could be a good race.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the horse delivered. I love it when they deliver.
I went with runners. You went with firsters.
He's the best colt we've seen on the East Coast, I think, the one yesterday.
That was silly yesterday.
That horse. My friend Nick Tamaro couldn't wait to. It was a slow pace. He's right, but that horse really ran.
You know what? He's right.
Well, he's right. It was a slow pace. He's
But
not wrong. That horse ran.
He finished up strong.
He looked like Todd's horse was running at him around coming the 8th ball, and he just.
115 and 4.
So in race number 7, Tom Morley is chosen to run in the John's Call with Tie of the Sea, who would have been the likely speed here. I guess we both have Balthus. I was putting him second at Tie of the Sea, but Tie of the Sea's not going to play. We'll look at him, and I guess it's just a. This is just the mic.
Yeah, we're there.
I feel like I'm dead, but okay.
I'm sorry.
We lost my.
Oh, we lost Andy's mic. All right, so We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Hi, guys. We're back. Thank you to John Kakamis, our jack of all trades cameraman, taking care of that. New mic. Anyway, Baltus. Did we show Baltus? Did we show Baltus, guys?
Remember.
Did we show the video? Nah, don't show it again. Thank you, though.
He just turned into a nice horse. We had this conversation when he came off the turf a couple of weeks back. I'm a big fan of this horse. And I think the more ground, now he went from the 1.25 miles to the 3/8 to the 1.5 miles.
Doesn't seem like ground's an issue for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's facing much more accomplished horses and better horses than he faced last time, but I scratched into him as well.
He's done it the right way the last couple of times.
I think he has some competition in here from horses like Reigning Spirit and Cibolian coming out of the Louisville, though he's run a few times. We haven't seen Reigning Spirit. I think he was reined off the turf once. Big price, finished second. We'll take a look at that race. And he's got John Velasquez, Reigning Spirit, riding him. I thought he ran well in here. And, you know, to be fair, he was able to run this effort for Al Stall at a big figure, 96 for his horse yesterday. That horse was exceptional. They're going a little slowly right now, but eventually they're going to speed up. But
they're not even moving.
They took a little break top of the stretch.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, this horse came from
the moon.
We'll
get things straightened out by Travers Day.
This horse came from the moon, was wide, big effort.
No, I thought that horse ran well. He was dangerous. I think Quinyeños is interesting for Tom Morley, going the 1.5 miles. He's run some good races going longer in the past.
I thought Founder was a little interesting. Second time for Bill Mott. This horse has very little pedigree, suggesting this horse wants 12 furlongs. Yet, here he is. Picks up a Rad Ortiz Jr.
You don't think Bill's just trying something different?
Yeah, I don't. Second start off of 9.5 months. I don't know. Something just smells fishy here.
He's trying to find if the horse can do something else. I mean, he's desperate with the horse. I mean, he's never run a particularly fast race.
I guess.
And he's just trying. Good luck. I mean, it's fine. But
yeah.
I think Reigning Spirit's obviously dangerous in here. I think Quinyeños, once again, is a live horse in here. He's got good races going back. I don't want to interrupt the conversation, guys. Got good races going long. He was in a very tough field last time out. He broke a length slow last time, was bumped a little bit. He didn't do any real running in there, but that was a pretty strong race.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to race number 8 now. Hey, guys, I love you dearly, but I cannot hear while you're talking over there. Please. Let's take a look at Baba in the 8th race, the horse to beat.
This is stunning.
Johnny, please. John, please. Can we wait? Thank you.
Here's Baba getting the job done. This is the win, Andy? This is the 2nd place finish.
This is last time out when 2nd November Rain. But I think the question is, where the heck did this race come from, and how much can you trust that she's going to run this kind of race coming for Rudy, whose barn horses just aren't running as well as normal?
She had run
never run this well.
No. Three starts back, she ran a fig that was her prior top. But it was a different kind of race than her prior top. It was one of those races where I felt the same way, where it was like, where did that race come from? And then
she's got Trevor riding her, by the way.
Okay.
Javi's riding to a T.
2 starts back.
I can't take her. I can't take her. I've got her 3rd because she did run it, but I can't. I'm not.
I put her 4th too. 2 of the last 3 where the race come from, and now I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to trust at this point. Obviously, the barn. I don't want to keep beating up on Rudy. There's other speed in here. She's fast. There's other speed in here. Yeah. She's tough.
Yeah, I don't want her in here. Please enlighten us as to what miracle improvement Exaltress is going to show to be competitive.
Well, I know the barn's been high on Exaltress. I think if you throw out the debut, which was a little bit of a disaster, she went fast from the rail with the blinkers. Blinkers came right back off, and she got the job done in the maiden race. They ran her right into the stakes race last time. Pretty aggressive move for the barn. Chad
it was a winter stake at Aqueduct.
But it was still a stakes race where she could have ran an allowance race. And now
here's a problem with her, though, Anthony.
Yeah, obviously.
She's supposed to be 20-1 in this race, and because of the connection, she's going to be a fraction.
Well, I don't think she's supposed to be 20-1, but
well,
yeah,
of course
she won't
she
be
is.
the price she's supposed to be.
Of course she is.
And this is not that tough of a race.
Okay, we're looking at different PPs. It's
well,
fine.
I mean, if
maybe she'll improve, but she's.
Say again.
Maybe she'll improve, but I don't
well,
get
yeah,
it.
I mean, I'm not betting her off of the ride. I think she will improve.
Okay.
I do.
I've got her 4th because I respect the barn as well, but it seems like an unlikely winner to me. But I like repealing in here. We'll show her last race. I think it's possible that the rail was the wrong place to be. Now, she was not right down on the inside for much of this race, so I don't think she was badly affected. But, I just feel like she ran really well 2 back. She definitely did not run as well last time out. We saw Stahl's horse yesterday who had 1 start come back and run a much bigger number the next time. She is probably the controlling speed in this race for Tyler. Tyler was out, by the way, at Del Mar. Rode Spenderella, a very impressive winner of that Del Mar Oaks. She looked terrific. And I just wonder if she ran against better horses last time than she's running against here. And I think she's just a super logical horse here, so probably is the speed.
I took 1 shot against her with Exaltress, but yeah, I just wanted 2s and 5s in here.
I think the interesting horse in here at a price is Firing Carol. And she's the opposite of Exaltress. She's not going to take any money because of her connections. But the reality is, you look at her race 2 back, that was when Talia Lynch first claimed Eloquent Speaker when she won a race, rode the bias, 2nd in stake, and then sold her for $200,000.
And now has her back on the barn.
Right. I mean, this is a horse that's got a number of figures in the mid-70s. That makes her competitive in here, and because of the connections, especially up here, she's not going to take a dime.
She's getting lost in
now,
the shuffle.
I'm not in love with her, but there are times when she runs her races, and she's very competitive in this race, and she's going to be a huge ride. I don't want to put a horse like this on top because they look a little silly, but I'm going to use this horse. I think she's usable.
Look a little silly anyway.
I wish I could still endorse Ruvies in Time. I got nothing but love for her, but I just worry she can't run at all anymore.
Perhaps the case.
Yeah, and it's Rudy. But I always want to pick her. The Bolton Landing coming up.
You know what Bolton Landing is? Kidding.
I learned from you. Otherwise, I would never have known. So, Love Reigns. Take a look at Love Reigns blowing out a field at Keeneland in her first start, where the 3rd horse had trouble, where it might have been a little bit closer, though when I say a little bit, maybe 6 lengths. I worry a little bit, though, that she was running against a very mediocre field.
Obviously, it's a concern that she was not running as much.
Yeah. But
she ran well enough in the Queen Mary.
Well, I'm going to talk about that. That was a weak field, the Queen Mary. If you look at the horses that she ran against and the horses that finished ahead of her in there, they are not very good. This was not a Queen Mary that was filled with legitimate, Guineas type horses for the next year. If you look, I looked those horses up on Racing Post. They're basically a crew of horses that have come back and run extremely mediocrely since that race. And I think when you look at her and you see that win by 10 lengths, and you see a fourth at Ascot, she ain't going to be 2-1 in here. She's going to be even money in here. With Irad riding, she has all the accoutrements to be massively overbet. I picked her second. I'm not against her. I'm not sure how good she really is.
Okay.
And let me say something else. Do we really think she's the speed in here?
No, she's probably not. She did not get away all that. She was in front, but she didn't. She was a little tardy, if you will.
I mean,
so there are horses that are a little faster. I mean, the filly right next door, the other Western.
I agree. That horse is a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Now the 5 scratching probably helps her, but my horse has some speed as well. Now, maybe Irad comes blasting out, and we've seen Wesley's horses show more speed than we thought they've shown at times. But I'm
2 bottom horses have speed too: Sweet Harmony and Motown Mischief.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering a little bit how fast those paces are at Monmouth because they get pretty wicked paces down there.
Right, but you would imagine she was forward.
Yeah.
She's outside, so you'd imagine she's going to try and leave for some position.
I like Dance Macabre. We'll go to Colonial Downs for a little Dance Macabre. Dance Macabre, who comes out of the Summer Promise race on dirt. I will tell you, looking up the horses from that race, this race got a very big fig from Timeform US. Buyers not do figs for the race.
Okay.
Got a very big fig, bigger than the fig for the 2. And if you look up the horses from that race, it is extremely easy to justify a big number in that race.
Okay.
And she draws outside. She's quick. I think this filly is very dangerous, and because in all likelihood the 2 is going to take so much money, I think I can get a very fair price on her.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of the 2. I'm not against
her.
Love Reigns. I just not sure how good she really is.
I'd be using her. Yeah, for sure. And she was close enough to a slower pace where you'd have to imagine a little speed will help her cause, and she'll be able to just make one run at them.
Well, I don't think it was that much slower pace. I think it's a track that has slower paces. It actually was a reasonable pace for that racetrack. You have to have redefined second. I mean,
of course.
You got a tip on her first time and got 2160.
Yeah, cutting
all
back.
That good Anthony Dutrow information at Belmont. Loaded with that Anthony Dutrow information.
Yeah, it was good. Cut back here from the 6 furlong win. Johnny V picks up the mount with Castellano going to the 9, Sweet Harmony. Again, I agree with you. There's a little pace in here. Maybe
I'm not sure how good the field was, but she ran well.
She ran well. I don't know what she beat. I agree. I agree.
The Monmouth race, Sweet Harmony and Motown Mischief. I didn't circle her, but Carrie was in there. What happened to Carrie? I mean, Carrie ran. I got her third. Carrie ran terrific when she broke her maiden for Christophe. We show the race from Monmouth at Colleen.
She had no real excuse in this race. She just didn't run.
Awful.
She just didn't run. Yeah. No trip.
I mean, I know the Speeds ran 1-2 around the track, and they are Sweet Harmony and Motown Mischief, or they ran 1-3, but she was right off of them, and she just backed up. She ran so badly, I wonder if something went wrong.
She had dead aim on them and just did not fire.
Who's riding her in here? Steve, text me on this. Steve says that she was wide versus a gold rail.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Leperoux. Julian is riding. Apparently, No Nay Never is going to lead. No K Never is going to lead.
Okay.
2 Stone Street horses here, by the way.
Yeah.
Second place finisher in No K Never's race came back and improved her figure 6 points. It's a good race. This is a good race. We had a good race the other day where that oxymoron.
Oxymoron.
I like oxymoron. Now, let me ask you a question, Anthony.
Yes, Andy.
I know it will go to the last race. It will soon be over. The pain will soon end for all of you. I know you picked the 5 because you're loyal to your friend Rob Masiello. Is he going to come up here, by the way?
I don't know.
I miss Rob dearly.
I do too.
I mean, honestly, he's a wonderful man. I'm kidding. I don't like him at all, actually. Are you upset about the change? Anthony, that B is about the change here, about the equipment late change?
You know I am.
Anthony thinks, in case you guys haven't figured out by now, Anthony still thinks it's 1978. Anthony drove his Edsel over the track.
No, I actually got behind one. I drove one over today.
You saw Peggy Sue got married, right?
Of course.
Says, Dad, you bought an Edsel.
An Edsel.
I love that movie.
I don't love the bar shoe on Empress Theodora, but I'll live with it.
I knew that bar shoe.
He saw me cringe when Johnny announced the changes that I cringed.
To be fair to my friend here, he has to put his picks in the Schenectady Gazette. So they're already printed, and he can't change them. It's disingenuous. You can't do it.
I know.
And so, but
I probably wouldn't have just because I didn't want to hear you.
This is Rob. Well, bar shoes, they're not what they used to be, but I think it's a bit of a concern. I think the truth of this horse, we kid about Rob, is that she ran in a race where she was attacking close to a very fast pace against legit horses.
Going a mile and 3/16, by the way.
There's a layoff and there's a drop for 40 are both concerns, and you see the bar shoe. Maybe they don't want to get the horse claimed. Maybe they're trying to steal one. I don't know. This horse's turf race is every bit as good, if not better, than any race anybody's running here.
Oh, this horse's turf race
and she's not going to be favored.
Better than any race that's been running.
I mean, she is easily defendable
here. Yeah.
And the thing is that Vagaries, who we both have second, will show her debut. She ran well in her debut, or on paper. She ran well. The reality is this race has proven to be a bit of a stinker going forward.
Do you really want any of these horses?
No, and Vagaries has proven, coming out of it, her next two starts, every Loop de Vega is not newspaper of record.
That is correct.
She's just not much horse, and this is not a drop down. It's a drop down. They're all drop downs to win a race, but this is not a. I'm trying to win a race. This is where she belongs.
But
she couldn't win Amazing Special with a rocket ship on her back.
She's also coming in here though with a horse in Candlestick Maker, and this is where I did screw up.
Look
today.
at this though.
It should have been 5896. Well, yeah, that's a scary. I don't know this number going in, but.
These drops for Chad, they win up here in Saratoga. I think Candlestick Maker is interesting. Was into tough last time out.
I should have had 5896, but just leave it the way it is. I wrote the numbers wrong.
It's okay.
Yeah, she's interesting. The fact of the matter is, Empress Theodora and Candlestick Maker have each run a better race than Vagaries has ever run.
And they're both going to be bigger prices.
And they're both going to be around twice the price.
Vagaries is going to be the essence of bad value. Chad wins with these horses, but she's just not that good.
And I know like I said, I should have had 5896, just leave it the way it is. I threw Miscreant on there because A, I had to get my man Jimmy Ryerson some love. B, I thought this horse showed a lot of improvement on the turf last time. I know it was not a great
Before
bunch.
I say this, I have to look something up. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The winner
Jimmy Ryerson.
Yeah, winner came back to win. I know the fig was slow and this horse would have to improve, but again, I don't know if I want to trust any of the favorites in here, and this horse is going to be double digits on the tote board. So that might be a horse you want to throw in at a big price late. You gonna make fun of me with something here?
No, I'm going to make, after we're off the air, I'm going to make you laugh.
Okay.
But we're done. It's been really fun.
It has
Should we do this again on Wednesday?
I would like that.
Okay, we'll be back on Wednesday. Until then, do whatever you do and have fun. Go over to Naira Bets. That's how you're going to have fun. You're going to head to Naira Bets, and it's going to be fun like you've never had before. Your whole world
take the T-Bird away.
Will change.
How about that?
Yeah, there you have.
I got a T-Bird too.
Who went to the Beach Boys the other night?
Not me.
Greg. Oh, Greg went. I love the Beach Boys. You don't like the Beach Boys?
I don't like people who do not stay in their lane. The Beach Boys should not make Christmas music. Therefore, I do not like the Beach Boys.
You wonder why I have issues with this guy. There's Naira Bets. We got a bankroll builder, the last one for the Travers at least. $50 to win Bolton Landing, a fun race. $20 towards your bankroll for Travers, win, lose, or draw. We have the low roller contest.
Low.
$40 buy-in, $30 bankroll, $10 prize pool. Over by the Miller Time 4-Star Day Sports Bar, look for Jay and Ray. Speaking of miscreants, Jay. Try to follow here. FS2 1 to 3, 3 to 5:30 FS1, 5:30 to 6:30 FS2. For me in New York, they're right next to each other, 400 and 401.
Say again?
In New York, they're 400 and 401.
Right. On Spectrum, yeah.
Very easy. We are done. But really, you're just getting started.
He's just getting warm.
John Imbriao will be up next. The reprise, the scratches and changes. Have a wonderful day here at Saratoga.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Saratoga Racecourse. Mostly sunny skies with the temperature in the high 80s today. Main track fast, turf courses are firm. And right now we'll take a look at the day's changes. And once again, both jockeys, Joel Rosario